Welcome back to week 4 of Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. This week we talked about what was the positive evidence that we've seen in our lives since our last meeting. And a number of people said that they had seen checks showing up in either their bank account or in their mailbox. And they thought they were going to have to do something extra to make it happen. But in truth, they didn't have to change anything or add anything at all. It just took place. It just manifested, mainly because they changed their energy around money. And really cool things are happening. It happened for me as well. I received a couple of payments that I'd totally forgotten about. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. So I hope that you had some experiences and positive evidence as well. Perhaps maybe you had something go your way, or people were more willing to help out or get the information you needed, or were just friendlier. It could be anything. What did you notice this week that has changed and is different than how it normally goes or how it's gone in the past? I'm sure there were a number of things, if you'll just take a few minutes to stop and think about it. The reason I ask about positive evidence every week is because I want us to recognize when things are actually working in our favor. And as we are changing our energy, changing the vibration, and deleting or removing the negative thoughts and limitations we have on ourselves, then things are more easily able to show up. And when we see the positive evidence, when we claim it as such, then we have an opportunity to validate that it's working. And that, when it's working, is working great. But when it's not working, then it kind of is not so good. But that's just it. We need to validate it so that we can see it time and time again and recognize it, because it's all around us all the time. And when it's not, it means that we need to look at what our vibe is that we're putting out. What emotion are we feeling that is then being distributed to everyone around us, right? Okay. So I had a specific intention for the last session, and I'd like to read it to you because I took great time in crafting it, because I wanted it to be just right so that it would serve everyone in the group and be to everyone's highest and best good, including you. So my intention is to arm you with some powerful tools to help you recognize and notice all the assumptions, those false beliefs, backstories, BS that we've told ourselves, that you and I have told ourselves, and we've been holding on to, and I want you to challenge them. So I don't want you to just go, oh, that's what always happens. No, I want you to say, no, that may have been what's happened in the past, but it's not going to happen. It doesn't need to continue to happen that same way, especially when it's something you don't want. So I want you to write down this question. This is super important. So grab your journal, and I want you to write down this question. And it's something you can apply to every situation that comes up. When you have a choice about doing something or not doing something, I want you to ask this question. And the question is, does this assumption, belief, thought, or activity forward me, that is forward me, toward my desired dreams and goals? Does this assumption, belief, thought, or action forward me to my desired dreams or goals? Think about that. If you're holding a belief that doesn't support you and push you in the direction of what you want to accomplish, what you've been dreaming of, then maybe it's time for it to go. If you're holding a belief that something is not helpful, then I want you to challenge that belief and change it, because you have the tools to do that. And I'm going to give you one more tool right now. And that tool is one that I created many years ago, and it's called Cancel, That's Not the Truth. This is a technique that, oh goodness, I must have been in my late 20s, and I held a belief that I was too heavy. I was too fat. Now, when I look back on the photos from that time period and from when I was much younger, I was far from anything than fat. I was not fat. But because I had two younger brothers that liked to bully me, they used to call me names, and they would call me a pachyderm, and a pachyderm is an elephant. And that really got under my skin, and they knew it, and they were basically calling me fatty without me being fat. And I didn't know the difference. I didn't know I wasn't what they said. And so it stuck with me, and it got ingrained in my head that I was overweight, and has stuck, very much part of my lifetime. And in my late 20s, I was deciding what I wanted to do. Was I going to move on to another job? Was I going to start my own business? What was I going to do? And this issue came up. And it came up, and it looked like no one's going to hire me because I'm fat. I mean, really? Remember, I was far from anything like fat. But anyway, that's not the point. My internal dialogue was about being fat. And it held me back, and it stopped me from taking action, going after the things that I wanted. So I developed a technique called cancel. And that technique is this. So when you have a thought and you catch that thought, that's a negative thought that's not forwarding you in the direction that you would like to go, your desired results, you're going to say, cancel, that's not the truth. The truth is, and the truth at the time was, I was my ideal weight. So the truth is, I am my ideal weight. It has who hires me or how I'm hired has nothing to do with that. So the technique is, and please write this down because this is such a helpful thing and something you can do anywhere, no matter where you are. The statement is, cancel, that's not the truth. The truth is, I'm at my ideal weight, or everything is working in my favor, or I'm going to find the perfect employment. Whatever it might be. So it's important for you to cancel out those negative thoughts, those negative beliefs with a tool that you can use anytime. And it could be one of those little superficial thoughts that just scampers across your brain and it's not being true. Or it could be like a more embedded thought like I had from my childhood about being fat. So use cancel, that's not the truth, as frequently as you need to cancel out the negative beliefs that aren't supporting you and moving you toward your goal or your desired result. So those are that's one powerful technique. Now we've been using tapping as another powerful technique. And I cannot overemphasize, that's the word I'm looking for, overemphasize how powerful tapping is. And so I encourage you to do that on a regular basis. You have your little tapping card, and if you don't, please let me know and I'll mail one to you. It's that little card that's got a human figure on it and shows you all the tapping points so that you'll know how to tap and what the setup phrase is. Okay? So let me know if you don't have it and I will mail you one. The other thing that we talked about during our class was the degree of abundance, stagnation, or lack that we had in our lives. And I asked everyone to write down the goal or dream that they were working toward. And so everyone took a moment to identify what that was. And then I went around the room and we identified what percentage each of them had in the category of abundance, stagnation, and lack. Now, this may sound a little complicated, but it's much more simple than it seems. So someone might say that they wanted to earn, well, I always use money because that's one that most of us can relate to. They wanted to earn $75,000 in the last quarter of the year. And as a result, we muscle tested, or I should say I muscle tested for each person and found out how congruent or in alignment that goal was with their belief of making it possible. Does that make sense to you? So we checked to see with their higher self how in alignment the goal of making $75,000 in the last quarter was with their belief of being able to reach that goal. Now, for that person, she wasn't real congruent. She had about 30% in the abundance category. When I asked about stagnant, the balance of it, 70% was in stagnant. And the lack category, she didn't have a lack mindset or mode, it was 0. So we know that there is some action for her to take because so much of it was in the stagnant category. It means that she needs to change some of her behaviors so that she can move to 100%. So we muscle tested and got everyone's alignment. Then I asked them to write down statements for each of those. So primarily the stagnant and lack category. So I said, what are you telling yourself about, being stagnant? What do you think? What are the mind conversations, the backstories that are going on? And then each person, I had them pair up after they wrote them out, and I had them pair up and share them with somebody else in the room. What I learned from my partner was that she believed that, she didn't really need blah, blah, blah. This was a different person than the person with the 75,000. So it was like, she wanted to buy a house. She didn't really need that house. Is now really a good time? This is her conversation. Is now a really good time to buy this house? Oh, I don't know if we should buy this house or look for something else. She had all this conversation going on. And so therefore, it just shut down any kind of energy that would move her toward her goal. So using that information, we were able to find out what she needs to tap on so that she can clear it, so she can make a clear decision about what she wants to do. The person that wanted to earn the $75,000 in the last quarter had a bunch of stories in her mind about where were those clients going to come from? I'm going to have to chase all this money down from past clients that haven't paid yet, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And those are all statements that easily can be cleared and then allows the flow of money to her, and so that she can actually reach her goal of $75,000 in the last quarter. So there was some real opportunity there. And until we can get really clear on what the mind conversation is, what is that backstory, what are the assumptions we've made, until we do that and clear them out, then we're going to run into consistent challenges, because what happens is the energy gets crossed. This is, we say, yes, we want to buy this house, and this over here is all the reasons why we can't. And those two things don't align. They crisscross and cancel each other out. We've got $75,000 on one side, go get them, yeah, I'm all about it. And then all the reasons why it can't happen, and the energy just crosses and it nets out to 0. And so when we can recognize what the conflict is and understand and recognize and identify the specific statements that we're using and stories, then we can clear those out so that we can move forward. And it doesn't mean we have to do a lot of work at all. It just means that we need to clear out the limiting conversations and the self-talk that's standing in the way. And that, you know how to do that. We tap, right? Even though blah, 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 tap, 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 and we talk about it. So you know how to do that, and you can start clearing those things out. So what I would suggest that you do is look and see what is like one of your highest priorities. What is something that you want to accomplish that you've had some challenges with, that nothing's really moving in that direction. And then I want to ask you to identify what is it that is keeping you stuck. You don't have to use, if you don't want to, you don't have to use the stagnant and lack categories. If you can start to identify what those statements are, what those stories are in your head that limit you, and write those down. Writing it down is incredibly important because it forces you to put language to it. And then it's more than a feeling. When you do that, you have a real possibility, well, not just possibility, You have the opportunity to clear out the negativity so that you can move forward and achieve what it is that you dream of. It's not a matter of manipulation. It's not a matter of overworking. It's just a matter of aligning your energy in the direction in which you want to go. It's all about alignment. And that's what we're doing, is trying to get our thoughts and our wishes, whatever they may be, in alignment. So what I suggest that you do is take a few minutes. Take a piece of paper, at the top of it, write your goal and be very specific about what that goal is. If you want a baby blue Corvette, then you write baby blue Corvette with what kind of engine or whatever, right? Or if you want a swimming pool, then swimming pool, put it in there. Put as much detail as you can. And then notice the stories that come up in your head. What are the limiting beliefs? What is the BS that shows up that says, that can't work, that can't happen, I can't have that, I don't deserve that? Whatever it is, I want you to write it all down. Trust me, this is the best way to do it. And then I want you to tap on it. You can do it. I know you can. And of course, if you need my help, I'm always here to help. All right. And then go to the next, once you clear all those, I want you to go to the next item, the next thing you want to get, next thing you want to have in your life. If it's a relationship, if it's more money, if it's more clients, whatever it may be. Identify the limiting statements, clear those, and then just watch for positive evidence. So it's super important that you record your positive evidence, because that's a validation that it's working. If you don't write down your positive evidence, it's easy for you to miss it and not even recognize that it's in alignment with where you're going. Got it? Good. Okay. So one of the things that I notice in working with a lot of clients one-on-one is there's often an issue around deserving. And it's not so much about just about I don't deserve this affluence, this money, this whatever it is that we would like to have. Very often it's more about, it's like in their subconscious. Many people have worked, many of the people I know have worked really hard to get where they are, including myself. And I came from very meager backgrounds. My family was lower income, not poor, but lower middle class. And my parents were divorced, and we lived. My two brothers and I lived with my mom, and there was just no extra income, none. And so even though my father paid child support, there were two households to maintain. The house my father lived in and the house that my mother lived in. And that just sucked up all the money, Between the two of them, there just wasn't enough. My mother used to pay us to do our chores with poker chips. And those poker chips, just like in real poker, were worth certain amounts of money. And then when she had, we would accumulate poker chips over time. And then when she had money, she would exchange the poker chips for real cash, which immediately sent me to the 7-Eleven to buy Teen Magazine and some saltwater taffy and bubble gum. So you can see where my priorities were. But I didn't come from a lot of money. And so therefore, there was a little not deserving or unworthy in the background. So what we did was we looked to see, we didn't go around the room and find out how undeserving people felt, what percentage or anything like that, but everyone had it. And so what we did was we tapped on not deserving or being unworthy. And so that was the thing that I felt was most important that we kind of wrapped the evening up with, because as you know, each week we've done a different topic where we cleared a topic, procrastination, and I forgot what the first one was, but procrastination and financial scarcity, etc. So this was about deserving and worthiness. And so I have a Eft tapping script that I'd like you to do with me while during this video, so that you can release the any trapped emotions or stuff around whether or not you deserve it. Okay, so let's do it together. Alrighty. So we're going to start with a karate chop, and I'm going to glance down here at my notes periodically because I wrote it out and I wanted to make sure I was very specific in what I said during this DFT session. All right. So if you'll just follow me and tap where I tap and repeat after me, we'll be in great shape if my notes don't blow away. Hang on just a second. Okay. We might get through this. Let's see what we got here. All right. If you'll tap with me, please. Even though there may be a part of me that believes I don't deserve to achieve my goals and have my dreams, I love and accept myself anyway. Even though there may be a part of me that thinks I don't deserve to have an abundant life, I love and accept myself anyway. Even though there may be a part of me that believes I don't deserve, that I'm unworthy of all the things that I want, I deeply and completely love and accept myself anyway. Okay, we're going to start on the eyebrow. Okay. Part of me believes that I don't deserve to have what I want. Side of the eye. Part of me may believe that I am not worthy or good enough to have all that I wish for. Under the eye, I have a story that says that I am not worthy. Under the nose, I'm not deserving. Chin, it's not safe for me to have all that I want. Collarbone, I don't deserve to have pure happiness and abundance. Under the arm, I must work extremely hard, harder than others, to have what I want. Top of the head. I have a false story that says that I don't deserve and I am unworthy of having all of my dreams come true. Okay, take 2 deep breaths, please. I hope that you felt a little bit of a shift or a transition after doing that. If not, back up the video and tap again. Change the words to what you think they should be or what's true for you. And then go from there and see if you notice an impact then or a change in your energy. I can promise you that it will make a difference. In fact, I'm sure it will. I'd like to guarantee it, but I'm not really sure how to do that. So one of the things that we did at the end of our session, we did a lot of sharing, but one of the things we did at the end was we looked at what our original intentions were for the workshop. And I went around and asked each person if they had received their intention. So Jan, your intention was to find an intention. And we talked about, I wrote down, write and tell and share stories with confidence. So I know that this was not about writing. This workshop was not about writing and sharing stories. However, I hope that you've gained a little bit of confidence by watching these videos. And I hope that they have helped you feel a little more confident in telling your stories, because you really are quite funny and your stories are absolutely amazing. So please keep that in mind and give it a try, because I believe you've got something very special there. Tanya, you said that you wanted to resolve negative self-talk and be more kind to yourself and reduce your daily anxiety. So hopefully you've been following along with these videos and tapping, and I hope that you've noticed a difference since you've participated in this workshop. Please, check in with yourself, see what your daily anxiety is like, and then notice how often you're talking poorly to yourself or saying things that are unfriendly or unnice to yourself. And see if you notice if it's gone down some since you started this course. I hope so. Please let me know, either, both of you, let me know where you are and how you feel about things now, about your original intentions. So we finalized the evening with a request that asked people, I handed out a handout that asked people to share their thoughts. If they were going to tell someone else about this workshop and talk about what they got out of it and if someone should attend, what would they say? And so everyone wrote a short little paragraph that described what they got out of it, what they found valuable, and I would love for you to do that. I know that you haven't been here for all of the sessions, but I would certainly love to have your feedback, absolutely. So you both have my email, so please feel free to shoot me an email with those answers, and that would be terrific. So it's just a short little, what did you get out of it kind of thing, all right? And what would you tell others? I guess in that kind of context or format. We closed the evening with some sharing, and I thanked everyone who participated in the group. And I'm going to be offering this course again, starting in the end of October on a Wednesday night. And possibly that might be a better night for some people. So I'm going to try that night. If you and Jan, you and Tanya would like to come back and attend that course, I would love to have you, since you didn't get to attend all the sessions this time due to various things. Please let me know. It will be on Wednesday night, same time at 7 p.m., starting the 28th, going into November. So just check the dates, see if that works for you, and let me know if you'd like to attend. It will be at no extra cost for you all. Alrighty? And let's see. If you know of someone who might benefit from this course, I ask that you please share it with them. The information's updated on my website with the new dates, and I would love to have any of your friends attend. So please share the information, and we will go from there. One of the things that, I guess the final thoughts I had that evening or about this workshop was to ask yourself, if you didn't have fear, what would be the possibilities? So it's kind of a journaling question. If you didn't have fear, what would be the possibilities? And brainstorm that. If you didn't have fear around sharing your stories, if you didn't have fear of letting go of clients that are not worth your time, if you didn't have fear of stepping out in a really big way and doing something a little bolder, a little different, then what would be the possibilities? So I leave you with that question, and I thank you so much for being part of the group, and I hope to see you next time, and we'll talk real soon. Y'all take care. Love you guys. Bye.